Knocked away by Neville. Diving for it. To flip it with it.
It's over.
Puts it
It's
up.
over.
From Birch Meadow Field in Reading, Channel 3 Sports presents Reading High School football. Today, the Watertown Red Raiders visit the Reading Rockets. I'm Mike Moscarello, alongside is Bill Carroll. Thanks for tuning in as the Reading Rockets look to go 4-0, while the Watertown Red Raiders hope to get back to 500 for the second time this year. Bill, a lot of people would consider this a sandwich game for the Rockets, coming off a big win against Winchester before they go to the meat of the schedule against Burlington, Lexington, Melrose. This could be a dangerous game for Tom Kasperzak and his team.
For that reason, exactly, Mike. Usually you don't get coaches looking past an opponent, but the game's played on the field, and if the Reading players are looking past Watertown, we're going to have an interesting afternoon.
Here is Tom Dicker with the opening kickoff for the Red Raiders. Gets out to the 36-yard line, where Watertown will take over 1st and 10. We'll set the Rockets defensively for you. The right end, number 71, Coley Foley. Number 60, Steve Nickerson, is the right tackle. Wearing number 25 today is Kenyon Davis. He generally wears 44. He is the nose tackle. Brandon Curran, 63, left tackle. Zach Pace, 62, the left end. The linebackers and the cornerbacks we'll give you in just a moment. Quarterback for Watertown is number 4, Liam Conley. This is his brother Rich Conley on the first carry. To the 41-yard line, pick up a 5 on first down. Josh Marr, number 33, the right side cornerback on the stop. His partner on the left side is Chris Dunnigan. The two guys inside, Aiello, 41, Jeff Marshall, 34, Tom Fratto, number 15, is the strong safety. Al Bailey, 21, is the free safety. And let me turn it to my partner, Bill Carroll. What are you expecting from Watertown to start?
Well, to start off, Mike, we're going to see a power offense, mostly because Watertown, while small in numbers, has some pretty good size up front.
Tom Dicker on the toss gets to about the 44-yard line. Getting off the bottom of the pile, Fratto, 15, and Dunnigan, number 26. And Dicker is slow to get up. One thing fans will notice about this Watertown team is that they are not large in numbers, around 30, 35 players, so they cannot afford an injury, especially to a quality player like Dicker.
Oh, exactly. But if you look at the 11 that are on the field, Mike, you're talking about a backfield that averages almost 200 pounds. Rich Conley's 195 running out of the tailback spot, and their fullback is also a pretty big boy listed in the program at 195. Sometimes you don't want to necessarily, and if you see the replay.
Couldn't really pick up from that shot
A lot of
what
bodies.
happened to Tom Dicker. He's still on the field.
A lot of bodies at the point of attack. He is, he'll be the other halfback in the Watertown backfield, perhaps as a halfback, sometimes as a flanker or wing. But at fullback, Watertown goes with Vashi Tatujian, and he's 195, Mike, and you put him together with Conley, that's almost 400 pounds of running back.
Tom Dicker now sitting up at the middle of the field, and hopefully he'll be back into action. 9 minutes, 4 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Rockets hosting the Watertown Red Raiders. Reading at 3-0, and Reading High School football fans, I'm sure, took a look at that Winchester Reading game from last week. Very exciting finish. The Rockets with a 21-20 lead. And now you see Dicker being helped off the field by the Watertown training staff. Third down, 3 yards to go for Watertown. Red Raiders on their opening drive on an overcast and misty Saturday morning from Birch Meadow Field. Watertown goes with the split backs. To the wing to the far side is number 20, Jim Labarge. To Tunjin, the fullback. Looks like he has the first down to the 48-yard line.
I don't think we're going to see anything real fancy at this point, Mike. We wouldn't call the weather bad, but because it's been drizzling for a couple hours, I mean, you almost can't feel it. We'll see a replay, a very, very basic fullback slant off of left tackle. Lead block. Block down, kick out. They got there 3 or 4 yards for the first down.
Coley Foley, the man on the last stop for the Rockets. Again, split backfield for the Red Raiders. Labarge straight ahead with some room. He'll pick up about 6 on first down, and as we have talked over the years, first down, especially for a running team, that's the big down, and Watertown has controlled the line of scrimmage on first down.
It sure has, and Reading is going to have to, right now, make themselves perhaps a little vulnerable to play action or whatever kind of a passing game Watertown has, but there's no question that they're going to have to tighten up the line of scrimmage.
From the Rockets 47, second down 4 to Tunjan. Mickey Conley had a little trouble with that when he is stacked up. Nick Aiello, junior inside linebacker, who had a nice two-way game last week against Winchester, along with Brendan Curran, number 63, who also had a two-way game last week.
I don't think we're 4-down territory yet, Mike, either in the game or in the season for Watertown. Here on the replay, you see a nice job by Aiello filling the hole. Straight dive. Watertown is coming right at Reading. And I'll tell you what, I almost predict an off-tackle slant again. I don't think they have to put the ball in the air.
Here's Conley trying to get to the corner. He is tripped up. It looks like he'll be short of the first down. Watertown went with a 2 tight end set in a full house T backfield. Paul Lyons, our referee, taking a look to the far side, and they will bring in the sticks for a measurement.
Easy. This is an easy one.
All right, what do you got for us, Bill?
Short by a ball.
Bill Carroll, with his first call of the day, says this one will be short by a ball. You'll see it there on your screen. John Upton and the Channel 3 crew have been here since 7:30. They've done a heck of a job so far. We're early in this one with 6:40 to go in the first quarter. They are short, and don't think it's by a ball, but you're
a little less than the ball, but.
Take another look at this. Conley coming around the corner.
It's an old wide counter play off of a full house T backfield that occupies the linebackers on that dive fake. The pursuit generally is not as good. Requires excellent defensive play at the corner.
Power I formation on 4th and inches. Look for a quarterback sneak here, possibly.
Big
they
back.
go to the big guy to Tunjan, and he got stuck by Tom Fratto, number 15. Strong safety up to make the stop at the line of scrimmage. Paul Lyons indicates it's a first down for the Watertown Red Raiders. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. I'd like to remind everybody that at the end of quarter number 1, and first we'll go to this replay. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, pretty basic football. You're going to give the ball to a big back. 195 pounds of fullback going up in there. And it was well played by the Reading defense, but with only 6 inches necessary for the first down. Watertown now is creeping up on 4-down territory, Mike, and a running attack loves 4-down territory.
Here is Conley, avoided a tackle in the backfield and gets to about the 40-yard line, pickup of a couple.
I like what Paul McGovern's doing here with the Red Raiders, Mike, simply because there's not an awful lot of trickery going on up front. I think he's got his he has his lineman set up to fire off and knock somebody down. And until the Rockets stop him, he doesn't have to do a heck of a lot by way of trickery right now.
Full house backfield, 2 tight ends. Conley on the roll is wrapped up and now sacked by Zach Pace. Now, just what you were talking about, Bill, we'll go back to a Keith Jackson phrase. If it ain't broke, then don't fix it. Pace has had a very good year at the left defensive end with a big play there.
Yeah, a huge play. It's almost playing into Reading's strength by rolling out. You'll see in the replay Pace really takes on that the pulling guard. 55, Charlie Ramos, pulled out to protect. I think Conley got outside the protection a little bit, made the job a little easier for Zach Pace.
Here's Labarge on the toss, and the Rockets sniffed that out on the 3rd and 17 play. Watertown went safe, and the Rockets hold after a gain of a yard. Watertown will go into punt formation with the ball sitting right at the 50-yard line.
And Zach Pace slowed that play down also. He may not be credited with the actual tackle, but he was the one that got his hand in there first and forced Labarge to cut up field.
Liam Conley in punt formation for Watertown. Donegan and Fratto, the deep safeties for the Rockets. High snap is handled, and it's not a particularly good kick. That will be down by Watertown at about the Rockets' 35-yard line. 3 minutes, 41 seconds to go in the first quarter. Reading will see the ball for the first time. And I'd like to remind everybody that coming up at the end of the first quarter will be our Remember When series. We're going to go back to 1969, a game between the Reading Rockets and the Rams of Lynn Classical. Chip Jett, I think, is the man who you're going to see a quarterback in that one. I happen to be at that football game, as a matter of fact. We'll take a look at that at the end of the first quarter. The Rockets with their hands on the football for the first time. Tom Fratto, number 15, is your quarterback. Here is Chris Dunnigan, the tailback, kicking down after a couple of yards gain. Mike Raymond, number 71, the most veteran lineman on the Watertown offensive and defensive line. Donegan will pick up a yard to the 35-yard line.
Likewise, on this side of the ball for Reading, if they want to get their option game going, and I think Reading has, if anything, been very well balanced offensively this year. If they want to remain a balanced team, it's going to have to run the football.
We'll give you the offensive lineup in just a moment for the Rockets. On a 2nd and 9, Al Bailey split wide to the top of the screen. Fratto back to throw. Comes underneath to Donegan, and it is picked up by Al Bailey off the deflection. Good reaction by the senior wide receiver. He'll pick up a first down, I believe, at the 46-yard line. And as I look to our right, John Hollingsworth has made his way into Birch Meadows Stadium. Nice to see Bud Hollingsworth here.
Well, it must be raining down on the Cape where you can't play any golf. That's probably one reason he's here.
You look at the Rockets offensively. Tom Fratto, you've met him. He's the quarterback. Josh Marr, number 33, the wingback. Nick Aiello, 41, is the fullback. Chris Dunnigan will play tailback. He's number 26. We'll give you the offensive line right after this play. 1st and 10. Right up the middle. First option is Nick Aiello, and he got good yardage on first down. He'll pick up about 5 to the Watertown 47-yard line. Here are the Rockets offensively across the line. Dan Aratuzzi, 54, is your right tackle. Coley Foley, 71, is the right guard. David Smith, who sat out the first 2 games with an ankle injury, is at center. The left side guard is Brandon Curran, 63. And the left side guard is Zach Pace, 62. And Brandon Curran, 63, is the left tackle. Brian Burbine, 82, is the tight end. Jeff Marshall is snowed under. Number 77, Mike Rossi, 6'1", 180-pound defensive lineman, shot the gap and nailed Marshall for a loss of about 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Here's an isolated look on Tom Fratto.
And there are some plays in football where once you've called the play and you're committed to it, and the defense perhaps stunts or uses a maneuver that you weren't prepared for. They beat us on that play. Let's just regroup and run another play. Not much you can do against a blitz like that.
3rd and 9, a screen coming, and Marshall has lots of room. He has the first down to the 30, taken down at the 25-yard line. He got a couple of outstanding blocks. One from number 54, Dan Aratuzzi, a 6'1", 230-pound junior who's starting at tackle for the first time today.
The twos really made this screen work, and if we get a replay, as we've been doing, you're going to notice the twos knocking his man out of the play, I think. Well, we can see the end of it anyway. An awful lot of times you don't have to go down to be effective, but the play was right in front of us, and a lot of times the linemen just can't seem to pick up who to block on screen plays, and that was not the case for that successful screen by the Rockets.
From the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 for Reading. Fratto to throw. Goes underneath to Brian Burbine, a pickup of about 4. Burbine has had a nice year as the leading receiver on the Rockets. Now his 5th catch. He's averaging 12.8 coming into this football game, and he has 2 touchdown catches, and both have been game winners at this point.
Yeah, and in the scheme of things, you know, not knowing for sure what Tommy's plans are for the whole year, Brian's been a big catch man as opposed to a big numbers catch man. As you said, he's maybe leading the team in receptions, but he's only got 5, and I think Tommy would prefer to have him quietly play and then take him out of the deck and deal him when necessary. Gloucester certainly one case, and Winchester being the second case.
We have come to the end of the first quarter here at Birch Meadow Field. Watertown and Reading locked in a scoreless tie. At this point, we're going to take a look back at Reading High School football history. 1969, the Reading Rockets in the Lynn Classical Rams, our Remember When series. We'll be back right after that.
Enjoy 1969 Reading and Lynn Classical.
It was a battle of winless teams when the Reading Rockets went up against the Lynn Classical Rams in the 5th game of the 1969 season. After the Reading defense shut down the Rams, the Reading offense went to work. First, it was Dave Marolo straight up the middle for 11 yards. Then it's Audie Murphy, number 35, off the right side for 13 more. Then it's Marolo again off the left side for 7 more yards to the 50-yard line. Then the Rockets co-captain goes straight up the middle for 15 more yards to the Ram 34. Rocket quarterback Craig Canning rolls around the right end for 8 yards to the classical 23-yard line. Then the Rockets' number 44, Peter Acquaviva, goes through a huge hole on the left side and takes it in from 19 yards out, and the Rockets lead 6-0. And on the conversion, the Rockets reach into their bag of tricks. Out of a kicking formation, the ball is snapped directly to place kicker Nick Mull, number 11, who rolls around the left end and gets in for the 2 points, and the Rockets lead 8-0. Still in the first quarter, Rocket defensive end Steve Calvin picks off this bobbled pitch out and brings it down to the Ram 27-yard line to put the Rockets in great field position. Once again, it's the left side of the Rockets offensive line blowing out a huge hole for Peter Acquaviva, who brings it down to the classical 5-yard line. Early in the second quarter, Canning, rolling to his right, finds Acquaviva from 1 yard out for an apparent Reading touchdown, but it's brought back due to a penalty. And the Reading offense is forced to give the ball up on downs as they're stopped short of the Rams' goal line. But the Rockets' defense comes up big as they sack quarterback Ed DuPont in his own end zone for the safety, and Reading leads 10-0. Later in the second quarter, Classical gets right back into the game as John Morley goes straight up the middle from 8 yards out. Then on the 2-point conversion, DuPont in trouble, rolling to his right, wins the race to the corner of the end zone, and Reading's lead at halftime is 10-8. After a scoreless third quarter, the Reading defense provides some breathing room. Number 23 defensive back Pete Guger steps in front of this DuPont pass at the Rams' 48-yard line, races down the left sideline, and gets into the end zone to give Reading a 16-8 lead. And when Nick Mull's important point after is good, Reading leads by 9, 17-8. But Classical won't give up. With under 2 minutes left to go in the game, new quarterback Dave Johnson finds John Morley down the left sideline, good for 31 yards to the Rockets' 3-yard line. On the next play, Ron Sullivan goes over the left side for the Rams' second touchdown of the afternoon. And when Sullivan goes over for the 2-point conversion, the Rockets lead as a slim 17-16. With 1 minute and 25 seconds left to go in the game, the Rams' onside kick is too strong up the middle, and the Rockets' Audie Murphy controls. Quarterback Craig Canning and the Reading offense run out the clock as the Reading Rockets defeat Lynn Classical at Birch Meadow Field 17-16 on October 25th, 1969.
Welcome back to second period action, everybody. The Rockets and the Red Raiders from Birch Meadow Field. Tom Fratto in trouble and sacked by Vache Tatunjan, number 46.
And another blitz, which I'm sure Tom is going to be focusing on, not just the rest of this half or the end of the replay. And you can rest assured that Tom and his staff is going to deal with Watertown's very aggressive defensive scheming today.
3rd down 15, Fratto back to throw. Under pressure now, shoots to the end zone and is incomplete. He had a couple of receivers in the area. Number 16, Dan Nolan, junior wide receiver, and Al Bailey, number 21. The pass goes incomplete. It will bring up a 4th down and 15. The ball sits at the Watertown 30-yard line. 9 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the first half. The Rockets ranked number 6 in the Boston Globe Division II poll, number 15 in the now fashionable Mike Lynch WCVB TV poll. Of course, Mike Lynch was at the Winchester Reading game, I should say, last week, so I'm sure that helped the Rockets get up into the polls where a lot of the players think they should be.
I think a lot of people have written off the rest of the league now and are pointing to the Reading-Woburn game as perhaps being the deciding game of the Middlesex League, but there are a couple other teams lurking on the horizon that could be fairly dangerous. Burlington with a fairly impressive win last night versus Melrose. Certainly Melrose itself, even when not good, is always a formidable opponent.
Right.
So it's a little bit early for, I think I'm sure the coaches think it's early for the players to be watching the polls and being concerned about that. I think the only poll you're really concerned with should be the one at the end of the year.
The Rockets will travel for the next 3 weeks, so Bill and I will have some time off from broadcasting these games. They will be
our arduous task.
Yes, it's painful to do this. Friday night, Reading will be at Burlington to take on the Red Devils. Dan Hannafin, their fine quarterback, had a big night again last night as Burlington beat Melrose. The following Friday night, they will be in Melrose to take on those Red Raiders. And then 3 weeks from today, the Rockets will take on old friend Bill Tye and his Lexington Minutemen. And the name to keep in mind is a gentleman by the name of Terrence Nolan, who is one of the finer two-way players in the Middlesex League as a fullback and a linebacker.
And another tough opponent also, so that as Paul McGovern has said here in the Middlesex League, there are no off nights.
Jeff Marshall on a 4th and 15 tries the reverse. He picks up pretty good yardage, but he will be short of the first down. The Red Raiders have held on downs. The ball goes over to the Red Raider offense.
Not too much to pick between the two teams today, Mike, except, maybe for obvious reasons. Reading seems to be a little bit more versatile, has attempted more passes, seems a little bit more varied in its attack. And also, it's fairly evident to me that now that the game's well underway, the players are into the game and realize they have to play some football. But Watertown has held its own.
Here is Rich Conley on the toss, looking for the corner. Driven out of bounds by Tom Fratto. He'll pick up about 7 yards.
Is that first down success again, Mike, that we've been talking about?
Watertown, as Tom Kasperzak said in the Daily Times Chronicle this week, he believes that this is a team that can beat Reading if Reading does not come out and play football, and they're showing that physically, at this point, they are a match for the Rockets.
They are, whether that particular brand will hold up over the course of the entire game, remains to be seen. The one good thing about this for the Rockets is I noticed that when the ball switches possession, Watertown only sends in about 3 players. So that means they've got about 8 two-way players. That may be a factor in the second half.
From the 30-yard line, here's Conley again. Shakes his way out to the 35. He'll have a first down for the Red Raiders with 8 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the first half. Reading comes into this football game with 64 points scored. That's number 1 in the Middlesex League. They have allowed 39 points, or 13 points per game to this date. And Bill, that's a little bit high, I think, from what Tom Kasperzak would like, especially after allowing only 6 in the first game to Gloucester.
Right. Tom has felt that he could count on his defense and was worried about how his offense would develop. Now it's kind of switched. The offense has been doing very well, and he's a little bit concerned about stopping the other team.
On 1st and 10, here is Conley again, and this time he is wrapped up in the backfield. Number 34, Jeff Marshall, junior inside linebacker on the stop, 5'7", 180-pounder.
And you want to put a running team into situations 2nd and 11. You don't want them to have 2nd and 4. You want them to have 2nd and 11, 3rd and 8. You'll see, once again, a wide handoff after a fake up close, and the play looked like it was possibly mistimed, I think, due to some penetration by Reading.
On 2nd and 12, here's the toss to the far side again. Interesting, Bill, Watertown has had a lot of success running right at the Rockets. The wide plays haven't been quite as successful.
That's right.
Reading is probably as athletic as any team in this league.
They are, and while they don't have a lot of size, their strength is pursuit and quickness. And anything Watertown has done that has been away from a power game off tackle has been stopped. Jeff Marshall again, and on this second running play, a pickup of maybe 2. But that gives Watertown a 3rd and 9.
Ball is at the 36-yard line, 3rd down 9, full house backfield again. Here's the reverse, and it's sniffed out nicely by the Rockets, but a fine running move by Chris Kamel cuts it back inside. Pace was there, forced it back into the middle where the pursuit's supposed to come.
I think Zach himself would have made the play, Mike, had he not slipped. He was in position and appeared to have lost his footing. But you're right, it was a wide reverse, and Reading had sniffed it out and stopped Watertown after a gain of only 4. We have a 4th and 4 now.
From the Watertown 43 on 4th and 4, Conley lofts a high one to Fratto, who will signal for a fair catch at his own 25-yard line, and that's where the Rockets will have their second possession of the morning with 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the first half. Taking a look around the Middlesex League, we talked about some upcoming games. I think the Rockets have angered the Sachems as Winchester put a beating on Stoneham last night, 40-0.
A lot of people are a little surprised by that because Stoneham came into the season, if not necessarily ranked at the top, certainly people felt that they were a notch below the top teams. Of course, beginning of the season, that was Winchester and Woburn. People felt that Stoneham has the size and the skill position to play with almost anybody. 40-0 is a surprising score there.
Marshall on the handoff, cuts it back inside to about the 28-yard line, a pickup of 3 on the play. And Bill, Reading showed a formation of yours that you really like, that tight slot to the near side.
That's right, Mike. I think it puts the defensive end in a little bit of a quandary. Does he line up on the slot back? In which case you can go out, block down on him and go outside. If he lines up on the end, you can kick him out and you run up right inside him. I think that's the staple of Tom Kasperzak's offense is the tight slot out of the eye. Or divided, and here it is again.
Marshall again. No place to go that time for Jeff Marshall. Did a good job of shaking the first tackle by Tutungin and is taken down at about the 26-yard line. He'll lose a yard on the play. We'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Yeah, the only problem is now that Reading has to execute its blocks. You just can't have 2 defensive players walking in on the play, especially at the point of attack. So I'm not sure whether there's missed assignments or influence blocks gone awry. But I think Reading's going to have to start knocking some people off the ball. And that's a little too early. There's still 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. But I would say the longer you let the Red Raiders hang around, the more you're leaving the outcome up to chance.
Here's Marr on the trap play, and that is sniffed out by the Red Raiders. Mike Raymond, number 71, at the bottom of the pile with the stop. It'll bring up a 4th down and 9 for the Rockets. And Bill, as you said, what Watertown has done effectively is make this a 2-period football game, and I think they'll take their chances with anybody in that situation.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? We'll try to do this because out of the special teams, there was 1 substitution. I want to see how much crossover there is from defense to offense for the Red Raiders. But if they can give these guys a little bit of a rest, they'll be tough in the 4th quarter.
Kamel handles the punt and turns it up the far sideline. Fine return by Chris Kamel back to the Rockets 36. There is a penalty flag on the far side. We'll have to check out the flag. And also there is an injured Rocket as the Watertown staff is waving the Reading trainers over to the far sideline. Not sure who that is, and we won't
Jeff
say.
Marshall, I think.
Jeff Marshall.
He looks like Jeff wants to get up, and the attendees and the referees won't let him. Which happens a lot in the warrior sport of football. Players almost have an unwritten code of not being carried off the field.
Personal foul against the Rockets. You saw Paul Lyons, who's an old buddy of yours, indicating that spearing was the call, using the helmet as a tackling device. Here's a nice way to look at Tom Fratto.
This is a real nice punt, Mike. Tom rides it out real nice, and I don't necessarily think he outkicked the coverage. But we see now a couple of slip tackles, and once again, the Rocket performance today doesn't appear as tight as Tom Kay would like it to be. It's a heck of a place to start a series at the opponent's 20-yard line. This is not a turnover. It was a 3-and-out on defense. Great job by Watertown defense. A very effective punt return followed by a spearing call.
Jeff Marshall is still being attended to on the far sideline, junior inside linebacker and running back in the Rockets offense. Brian Keefe, number 30, one of the 4 captains who has been out with the dislocated shoulder, is back into the lineup, seeing his first action of the year.